Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So I haven't had a chance to cut my hair in a while, so it's pretty long, as you can see. It is what it is. I'm just lazy. But today we continue with the polyurethane bushing install, and we're going to tackle the sway bar bushings today. So I'm going to be working on the front and maybe the rear if I have some time. But that's basically the next install that I'm going to be doing, and then there's probably a few more bushings left before I complete the installation. As you can see, we've already done the rear lower control arm, front lower control arm, which are the two major ones, and then we've done the front end link bushings. I've got the rest of the parts for basically the rear sway bar and then the front sway bar, so we're just going to go and tackle that today. So let's get to work. Alright guys, so first things first, before you even attempt this, you want to order the bushings for this installation. Basically, all of our, car applications come with various different bushings. So you want to measure to see how thick this is. This is a 1990 Civic Si, and it has an 18 millimeter sway bar in the front and actually a 13 millimeter in the rear, which is incorrect according to the catalog in the Energy Suspension or any of the other bushing manufacturers. They all say it's 15 millimeter, but that's for a CRX. So a hatch is actually 18 millimeters in the front and 13 millimeters in the back. So those are the ones that you have to order. Next, when you're underneath the vehicle, so this is the passenger side here. These are the bushings that you have to replace. So basically there's just one bolt holding it down here, and you pop that bolt off, this bracket comes off, and then you remove this old bushing. And after you remove the bushing, you could start installing the new one. It's pretty straightforward, but we might have to loosen up the end links or something. I'm not 100% sure if it holds or not, if there is enough room for just replacing that bushing, but we'll see. I'm just gonna go and remove this right now. So once you got the bolt removed, this bracket, you just basically push it up and slide this bushing right out, and has a slit on it, so you just pop it off, and there's the old bushing. And then you want to clean this area with some maybe brake cleaner or something to, and then gotta grease it with some of that silicone grease that it comes with, the polyurethane bushings. But that's basically what you gotta do. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that first. Alright, so you start off by basically lubing this bushing up. So when I removed the old one, I guess the slit was facing downwards. So I'm gonna continue facing it downwards. Alright, that's nicely lubed. And then we're just gonna pop this right back in. And there you go. The new bushing is in. This bolt is on the bottom here that holds it in place. That needs to be torqued down to 16 foot-pounds. Couldn't find that in any other manual, but in one of my Haynes manuals, it actually said to torque it down to 16 foot-pounds. So that's the torque spec that I'm torquing at. It actually wasn't super tight when I removed it. So that's basically how you would install the front. Now I'm just gonna finish up the other side, and I'm gonna go and work on the rear. So alright, so basically the rear sway bar consists of this bolt here for this sway bar bushing. There is a back here. Let's see if we can get. You see the end link, so there's a bolt right here, and as well as a bolt down here. I'll be replacing this whole end link. There's a small bushing in here that needs to be replaced as well at the back of the sway bar. So we'll be replacing that as well. So basically the whole end link piece, and this bushing here. Alright, so this is what the rear lower sway bar looks like after you've lowered it. I've disconnected the bracket here, so it was up top here before. And then I've also disconnected the end link. So this piece has a pin inside of it, and you see this bushing right in here. It's I don't know how worn it is, but it's not very good. It is pretty old, so we'll be replacing that. Like you can see, it just easily spins. So what we're gonna do is push this pin out, and we will be reusing this pin. And then basically get a screwdriver and pry this bushing out and pop the new one in. So there's the bushing just popped out. It's right here. All I did was take a big screwdriver like this one that I use for pretty much everything, and I pushed that from here, and I pushed it right through, and it just popped right through. I've got new replacement ones from Moog. These are actually made in Japan, so I'm sure they're probably pretty good quality. I mean, Moog's a pretty trusted brand, I guess. And I'm gonna pop these ones in the same manner. But first, I'm gonna clean up the surface with some brake cleaner. Then after that, I'm gonna basically put some silicone grease in here, because that's what OEM manufacturing, or the OEM manual says. And I don't really have any silicone grease. So what I'm gonna do is just use some Sil Glide brake lubricant and just put it in there. I mean, I think the energy suspension stuff and the Prothane stuff is also silicone lubricant, but that's really for polyurethane stuff, and I'm replacing these with rubber, right? So there you go. The Moog one's all installed. I used basically a screwdriver and kind of pushed it in corner by corner until it slipped in. Then you could easily just press it in with your hand. The pin, on the other hand, I had to twist in at an angle, and slowly it just went in. After that, you push it in. As you can see, when I took it out, it was really easy for the pin to come out. So this bushing is just straight up worn. So it's good that I'm replacing this as well. So that's a fresh new bushing. I end up facing the letters outwards because it just, I guess it doesn't really matter. It just looks better that way, I guess. So now I'm just gonna replace this one and then pop the end link on. This is the old end link. You can see the bushing is just all cracked and everything. I have a brand new one to replace this with. So brand new one right here. It's just easier because it's harder to find the bushing, just this bushing. So instead I just bought the whole arm. It was cheaper that way and easier. So I'm gonna just finish up this installation and I'll show you guys what it looks like after. All right guys, so this is basically all the new parts are put in. This bolt actually is torqued at 16 foot-pounds. Obviously this top bolt will be torqued at 16 foot-pounds as well. But this one right here will be 29 foot-pounds, the one that attaches to the control arm. But that's basically it. I'm just gonna put some silicone, like Sil Glide, around these rubber bushings here. But other than that, that's the new stuff. And this is an energy suspension bushing. You'll need to get one from like basically the 92 to 95 Civics with a 13 millimeter rear sway bar. The EF application only comes with a 15 millimeter sway bar, which is wrong. It's not. This is a hatchback. The hatchback comes with a 13 millimeter rear sway bar. So basically just reattach everything and torque it all down, and we're good to go on this side. And then I'm just gonna finish up on the other side, and that's the install for the sway bar bushings. So this is the passenger side, and all the bushings like this are all in already. So one thing I had to do was I had to undo this mount for the exhaust because it was getting in the way for me to torque this down. Other than that, everything came out pretty good. All the end links and everything are in. So basically all brand new sway bar bushings. Alright guys, so that's basically the install for the front and rear sway bar bushings. The front is an 18 millimeter energy suspension sway bar bushing for the 88 to 91 Civic application. The rear is a 13 millimeter energy suspension sway bar bushing for the 92 to 95 Civic application. So just make sure if you have an EF hatch, you order the 13 millimeter 92 to 95 Civic application sway bar bushing. As well, we replaced the Moog end-link bushing and the Moog end-link. So that's basically the entire rear sway bar. All the bushings and everything are completely brand new. So that's basically it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you're new here, please comment, like, and subscribe. As always, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers!